Chelsea. It's been a long time, but I've got a little update for you. I finally had my first commission, guys! So I have it done. It's right over here. This, if you don't know, is Harley Quinn's mallet from Suicide Squad. So this video is pretty much about what I've gone through throughout my first commission, as well as how to make this. Let's get to it. So materials can vary depending on what you want to use, honestly. This is a pretty simple project. So I used a wooden dowel for the middle. For the handle and this part up top, it's foam with some tape for the leather detailing. For the hammer itself, like the top, I used a creatine jar, but it was kind of too big actually, so thankfully I ran out of pre-workout and so I used that as a template. You pretty much just trace your 2 circles for one happy face and the next, and then one long rectangle for this whole area here. And then after that, you glue it all together and the fun part finally begins. And so that's when you get to start weathering the foam to make it look like wood. So this is the X-Acto knife I used, and I used this side obviously to cut it, but I also used the blunt edge to kind of like help press the foam down. What else did I use? I used my fingers, I used whatever markers I had around. I used a burning tool, like a soldering tool, just to make the cuts and stuff a little bit deeper on the sides. And also here. This here is made out of scissors actually. Kind of like a blunt one that was scruffed on top of the foam, and then also just literally I was just like cutting the wood. Here I'm also using a heat gun, and what that does is that first of all it closes the pores of the foam, so it kind of helps with priming when it's ready to paint right after. But then what it also does is that it deepens the cuts that you've made. So these cuts here ended up getting so much like deeper as I added more heat onto it. So that's another way to like add more detail to your foam. And now it's time for priming. So Plasti Dip is my favorite mode of priming because I feel like it gives me the most even surface compared to like FlexiBond or Mod Podge. I think people also use gesso. I've used it one time. It was okay, but I don't know. I think that Plasti Dip is like the best in my opinion. First time using an airbrush. I took the airbrush right out of the box. I didn't even try testing it. So according to the bottle, I think for every layer you should wait about like 4 hours. I was kind of in a time crunch, so I didn't wait 4 hours, but I did add like little thin layers at a time, and thankfully that worked out, so it's okay. It ended up being fine. This is more of a tip, I guess. I love working with washi tape because it's not too sticky to the point where it kind of ruins your foam, but it's also sticky enough to keep your templates on. So you'll see in this footage here that I'm just using a bunch of washi tape to put the triangles down onto the hammer itself, and I'm just tracing it with some Sharpies. I don't know why I was so excited to put the leather details on this hammer. I think it was kind of just that one thing that would put it all together. And you know what? I think it really does. I think it really looks fantastic in my opinion. So that pretty much concludes the walkthrough of the Harley Quinn Suicide Squad mallet. Thank you for watching, and remember, if you can dream it, you can make it, you can become it. Thanks for watching. Bye!
The E Producciones.